So I finally see Looper this week, which I am physically kicking myself for not seeing sooner. For this lack of insolence, I'm going to torture myself.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Hey, I'm from Media Award, and for this review I'm going to be reviewing Looper, starring Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and directed by Rian Johnson. I am very disappointed that I didn't watch this film sooner, because this film is physically awesome. It is officially my second favourite film of 2012. That is a huge title place. Dark Knight Rises is still my favourite #1 film of this year. Looper, oh my god, wow. Awesome. If you have not seen it already, or if you've put it off, go and watch it now while you still have the chance. I put this off to the last minute to go and watch this movie, and I'm physically regretting it. I should have watched it on the first day, and I should have watched it, damn it. But I've watched it, I'm doing a review now for it, and I hope you enjoy this review. So let's talk about Looper. Okay, so Son of a Looper follows a character called Joe, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is a looper. He's an assassin that has to kill certain individuals that the Mafia sent from the future into the past, and he has to shoot them and dispose of their bodies. Now, until one day, his future self, his future version, appears in front of him, and the movie goes into kind of a cat and mouse type chase, type thriller, the kind of time travel type twists and stuff, kind of his future self running around the streets, therefore, altering the future in a sense, and that's what the kind of basic plot point of this movie is, without giving any major spoilers. Now, there will be some minor spoilers within this review, just the facts of the things I want to mention, so if you haven't seen the movie, be aware that there's going to be some minor spoilers, but I'm assuming that a lot of people have already seen this movie by now. It's been out for a couple of months, so, this is just my thoughts of the movie, kind of thing. Now, what did I think of the storyline? I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Now, just from that kind of synopsis, that's without giving any major spoilers, there is so much more than just that kind of simple plot point. Now, if anyone's seen the trailer, which of course you have, I'm showing the trailer within this review, of course, you would think it's just a simple kind of, oh, my future self is, is come on the street, I have to go and get him, or, and you stop him kind of thing. It is so much more than that. This is a psychological thriller with sci-fi elements to it. It's impressive. It's very, very impressive. Now, this movie is set within the future, of course, and it goes into so much depth within kind of political, kind of poverty, the rich and the poor in a sense, and it just shows the future version of the world in a sense. I think it's set within 20 years from now, kind of thing, and the world has become, a bit more believable. It's a bit realistic kind of future world. You've got hover bikes and that type of stuff. You've got kind of futuristic guns. You've got drugs, and it's the standard kind of stuff you come to expect from the world. And just things have gone a little bit more dark, a bit more, a bit more kind of grittier in a sense in the kind of futuristic world. And I really like the direction the director took, and the writer, of course, Rian Johnson, who is the director and writer of this movie, did with this movie. It is fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
In the future, time travel is outlawed, used only in secret by the largest criminal organizations. When they need someone gone, and they want to erase any trace of the target ever existing, they use specialized assassins, like me, called loopers.
I love the direction that he took in terms of cinematography. There's so many great set pieces, so many great shots, which I just absolutely love seeing. I love the characters and who they are, and I love the kind of sci-fi twist. I love the thriller twist. I like the kind of the relationships between characters. Absolutely fantastic. Now, the storyline, I think, is just really, really well written. It is probably the most cleverest scripts to like a time travel type thing I've ever seen, because it doesn't act purely on that one note. It could be just a simple, oh, my future self is going on the streets, I have to stop him, that's it, that's one note. It goes so much more than that. It goes into real depth into these characters and why they're doing such a thing. Now, within a typical type of movie and storyline, there is a hero, there is a villain, that type of stuff. Now, within this movie, there are no heroes and there are no villains. They're just people that are kind of having a kind of belief in what they're doing, and they act on that. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, the younger version of Joe, that is just, a kind of hitman, looper type thing. He kills people from the knee. He just he has a kind of a vision where he wants to go into the future. In a sense, he wants to go to Paris, and that's how he sees himself. That's where he sees his future going. And you just see the essence of time and where his character goes into Bruce Willis's character. Of course, he's the future Joe, the older Joe, and you see his point of view, his character, and of course him already living out his kind of life and knowing what he knows, and we see his kind of point of view and why he's doing things he wants to do, and we find out why Bruce Willis's character, goes into the past and why he's doing certain things. I can't give away too much because of spoiler reasons, but the reasons that he does are quite, believable, and I suppose you can feel sorry for him and you can feel, damn, I would probably do the same if I was in that kind of circumstances myself. And there's certain things that the older version Bruce Willis's character does, which I find quite questionable and quite dark. Very dark in this movie. Some very scenes which I think, oh my god, I can't believe he just did that. But there are reasons for that, why he does that, and I think it's really, really interesting. And you can't just simply say, oh, he's a baddie, or that person's a baddie. There are no baddies in this movie. They're just people that are trying to impress someone. They're trying to save someone. They're trying to just live their life. I mean, you got Joseph Lewis' character that is just trying to get rid of this older version of himself, because if he doesn't, then he's going to get killed, and he knows the kind of the rules and the circumstances that this kind of replication this could have of an older version to himself. They're going to go after the younger version. Of course, to get the younger version, the older version will die and get rid of it, kind of thing. I really like that. I really like the circumstances about the characters. You also got Emma Blunt in this character also in this movie. She's really, really good. She's a really strong female kind of character. That's just looking after a kid, just trying to do what's right. And I like the circumstances that this movie changes. We get to see a certain set of time, like a one-note time where everything happens perfectly, and then you get to see the world changing because of this kind of time delay. I thought what Ryan Johnson did with the script, I thought was very clever, very original, and I think it's absolutely fantastic what he did with the sci-fi type time travel type elements to it. He simply took what's already existed and simply expanded upon it, amplified it into something a bit more original. Like I always said, this is more than just a kind of a sci-fi type movie. This is a psychological thriller. It is a cat and mouse chase in some areas. It is a story about trying redemption. It is a story about trying to save people. There's so many tones and elements within this movie which you genuinely would not expect. I wasn't expecting this. I saw the trailer thinking, yes, that looks really fun, that looks really fantastic. I'm excellent, I'm pumped to see this movie, and I got something much more better, something much more surprising. The trailer actually does not ruin any of the major kind of plot points from this movie, really, to be honest. It shows you only a glimpse of what the movie's about. There's so much more than just what you see. And this movie is very, very dark also. In some places you can think, holy crap, kind of thing. It gets really personal, really deep, and you really feel emotionally invested into these characters, and you really feel sorry for them. You really care about these characters and where they're going, and you can kind of relate to some of them and like, holy crap, what would I do in that situation type thing. I really like that, and I really appreciate that. It is sci-fi, it is a thriller, it is psychological, it is drama in some sense, and I think it's just a really well done script. It's a really well done movie. It has an excellent cast, and Ryan Johnson did a fantastic job with this movie, absolutely fantastic. So the actors of Looper, we have Justin Gordon-Levitt played the younger version of Joe. He's becoming one of my favourite actors of this 21st century, for God's sake. He's a fantastic actor. He's doing so much good work. Of course, with Inception, he was in Dark Knight Rises. He's doing so many great movies lately, and he's becoming a fantastic rising actor. He's going to be one of the biggest names in Hollywood, I think. He's picking his roles really, really well. He is one of the main characters in this movie. He is one of the driving forces of this movie, and he pulls it off very, very well. Actor in this movie, he delivers such a fantastic performance. I love the dialogue between him and Bruce Willis in this movie, especially the coffee table when he's trying to talk of his older future and what happened. And I love his kind of point of view and his kind of mind frame, because.
So you're me in 30 years.
So it's down into your eyes. It's too strange.
Your face looks backwards. Do you know what's gonna happen? You done all this already? As me?
I don't want to talk about time travel.
We both know how this has to go down. So why don't you do what old men do and die?
Why don't you just take your little gun out between your legs and do it, boy?
Bruce Willis in this movie. Of course, he's absolutely fantastic. Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis at the end of the day. But his character is really fantastic also, because even though he's an older version of Joe, he's not just the reasons that he's doing the reasons that he's doing things in this movie is actually quite not selfish. It's not, you know, anything bad. He's just trying to, you know, do good and trying to change the past, to try and save someone that he, you know, loves. And if you, I'm trying not to say it in a sense, in the spoiler reasons, but you know, Bruce Willis's character I thought was absolutely fantastic. You know, his older version of himself, I thought it was really good. I love the dialogue him also that he kind of presents, and the actions they take are quite dark and gritty in some areas. But you can kind of like, shit, what would I do in that situation? You know, knowing that, you know, if you're a time travel type person, if you like, you know, time travel type movies and, you know, future and past type thing, you understand the reasons why he does certain things. And so yeah, I thought his characters are fantastic. I thought he's probably one of his best roles in a while. I think, you know, I always like seeing him on screen no matter what movie he does. But I think this was one of his movies that I think gave him a bit more than he has in others. You kind of sense kind of thing, you know, it touched more on the drama side of his character, and you know, showed him how much of a good actor he is. You know, he is a good action hero. He is a good at the kind of the one-liners in the sense. You know, Expendables 2, he was really good in that. This one, I felt it gave him more chance to focus on the drama, to focus a bit more on the actual kind of, you know, his character and where his point of view is. Fantastic. So also we have in this movie as Emily Blunt. She's a really good character, also a good, strong female, you know, protagonist kind of thing. She's just a simple kind of strong woman, a single mother that just wants to try and save her kid, trying to look after her kid.
What's he gonna do?
I'm gonna save your life.
My life! Your life!
I know you're not lying when you say you're gonna kill this guy.
She is an interesting character. She's got a bit of a background, you can sort of tell that. We get to know a bit more about her also. She's not just a character that just appears out of nowhere. They actually spend a bit of time on her. She's in a good portion of the movie also, so they spend a bit of time on who she is in the background, and you know, the reasons why she does certain things. It's really interesting. It's really well done. And the rest of the cast also in this entire movie, I thought were absolutely fantastic. You got the kind of you got the kind of son that has the kind of, you know, the massive gun in his hand. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's trying to impress his father in a sense here, you know, and he's trying to be this kind of big, you know, this badass type thing, but failing miserably, absolutely fails. And the motivation his character has in this entire movie is just try and impress his dad, is to try and say, Dad, you know, I've done this, you know, are you proud of me, kind of thing. I thought the actual acting in this movie is top of the class, you know, the casting is just fantastic, really, really well done. So overall, I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this movie. It is one of my favourite movies of this year in terms of acting, in terms of script, in terms of cinematography, in terms of soundtrack. Action scenes are really well done. I like the sci-fi twists and elements to it. Being a huge sci-fi fan, loving time travel, loving my time travel type movies, like, you know, like Doctor Who and, you know, Triangle and Time Crimes and all those great movies out there. This is definitely deserved one of its place. I'm so excited to get this on Blu-ray, you know, at some point later this year or next year, whatever. I'm really happy. I watched this movie with my friend Laura. She kind of didn't get it in certain places, but you know, it happens.
Gangnam Style.
I'm going to give Looper a stamp of approval. I recommend you go and buy it on Blu-ray and DVD also. In the Looper review, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Have you seen Looper? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you didn't like it? Comment down below. I'd love to know. I'd love to have a discussion about it. I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favourite movies of this year. Fantastic. Also, a question: what is one of your favourite sci-fi movies? Is it Time Crimes? Is it Triangle? Is it Back to the Future? Love to know. Comment down below. Love a discussion about it. So in the meantime, it's Andrew Moody.
I'm sorry.
Oh my